What is up, Northeast Division? Good morning. Happy April. It's hard to believe, but here we are, April. We skipped March's broadcast because of the kickoff meetings, and I know a couple of them got postponed. We're hoping to be able to circle back and get the folks together and have those. But in the meantime, here we are. So I got to ask, anything new? It's kind of crazy what's going on in the world today. But like everything we do, we always adapt and overcome. And really kind of what I want to talk about today is overcoming and adapting what's going on in the world. When I look around the division, I see some really good stories going on. Some folks are doing some really good things. And so let's start off this broadcast with the top 5 rankings for March with account managers for Northeast Division. Roll the tape. Not too shabby. There are still some folks that are making some really good money out there in this time. So here's what I want to do today on today's broadcast. What I want to do is go through some of the folks and have them tell their story about what they're doing to still be successful during this time. And after each one, I'm going to kind of give my little 2 cents and kind of break down what each one of them are saying. So let's start with Tom Pollard out of the Vermont branch.
Hi, Tom Pollard, branch 996, Vermont. Tim asked me to do a quick video to recap kind of what I did in March. And what I did in March was my job. I mean, it's the easiest way to say it. I followed the system. I worked with some of my techs. I got some leads from techs. I worked my leads that come in from the call center. I worked my pipeline. I worked existing accounts. If I'm in a town, I look and see what other accounts we have in that town. I go by and say hi, introduce myself if I don't know them, touch base with them if I do know them. It's just doing the job, working the system, and trusting the system. I mean, I got bills to pay next month, so I'm working. I got bills to pay the month after, so I'll be working then too. The bills don't go away, so you got to do the work, and the best work to do is within the system. The system works, absolutely works, and you got to trust it. I was going to say there was I went to St. Louis for Christmas to see my family, and on the way back, there was a guy on the plane that had a T-shirt that said, "Trust the system." And I said, I do. So,
of course, you all know that I'm going to love the fact that he said, trust in the system and trust in the process. I say that constantly about trusting the process because the process works if you're working it. But a couple things that he said that I thought was pretty interesting is one, of course we have bills to pay. So we got to get out there and actually work and make money to provide for our families and everything. But he was talking about working with the route managers when he's going into different towns and things like that, talking to the route managers. That's key right now. Because you think about it, in your branch, you have your route managers that are out there still doing services. So when you're staying in contact with these folks, you get to see, and they can tell you which businesses are open, which ones have the decision makers, which ones have the people there that you can go in and talk to. Because I'm seeing a lot and you hear a lot about businesses are closed. But there's still a lot of businesses that have the decision makers in there because these folks got to go in there just because they're shut down. There's still people in those businesses. So work with your route managers and make sure that you're finding out what businesses are open and just go visit those folks. And the other thing, of course, trust in the process, trust in the system. So thanks, Tom. I appreciate that. So now let's switch it up and go to Baltimore and Jordan Foss. I want to hear what he's doing out there.
My way of generating business during this unprecedented time is to let customers know that while we are greatly affected by the coronavirus, unfortunately, it's not going to stop pests from infesting and causing issues in their place of business. Implementing a pest control program now can help our customers make sure that they're not going to have unneeded and unwanted issues 2 or 3 months down the line. For instance, an apartment complex that needed pest control services to start a month ago cannot afford to wait 2 or 3 months to implement that program. Reactionary pest control has always been the most difficult and expensive way to start a pest control program. Delayed reaction will only cause those problems to get worse and the price of initial services to go up. We can work within your customer's new budget to implement even minimal pest control services now so that we're protecting them during this time and then ramping up services or having a more comprehensive service put into place when things can get back to normal.
You know, I love the fact that Jordan's talking about the reactionary pest control and really trying to relay the message to even our current customers, but your prospects and folks you've been working on for the last 30, 60, 90 days, not to put off pest control, because the rodents and the pests, they don't know there's a pandemic. They're not going to stop doing what they do. And when you have that reactionary pest control where you're not doing it and you're just waiting, it's just going to get worse by the time they roll that out. So I think that is a great point. What he's talking about is getting your customers and your prospects to realize that this is very important right now. And that's why we're an essential business. That's why we're out there still working to help take care of these places and to make sure that the businesses are safe. So thanks, Jordan, because I think that is a great point. So let's go to Rob Beery. Rob Beery's got a couple great ideas too of what he's been doing.
A couple things that I've done to boost my activity and my production is I've always sold 30 to 60 to 90 days out. So focusing on the folks that I've been working with for the last 2 to 3 months and trying to close their business and bring them on to Orkin, as well as looking forward to the next 60 to 90 days and adding more into that sales funnel so that I continually will stay busy and productive, in the next few months while things, tend to be a little bit slower than usual. One thing I've always done, or also done, is like everybody else has been calling our local or our current customers and saying to them, we handled your pest control needs. I wore this a very specific way. We've handled your pest control needs when you needed us to. Were you also aware that we have a disinfection service as well for the office that you're in, or the warehouse that you work in, or the restaurant that you're running? And it lets them think and feel, oh, he's talking about the office that I'm specifically sitting in, or the warehouse where all my employees are in. And I'd like to come out and sit down with you, and I can talk to you about that service and show you all of the touch points that we will be servicing in order to help with the current scenario.
So I got to start off by saying it breaks my heart to say this, but Beery, for some reason, he took a promotion and is now a branch manager in Baltimore Commercial. No, I'm just kidding. Congratulations, Beery. But yes, he did become a branch manager, so congratulations. I know you're going to do great at that job. But anyway, a couple things that he was talking about. One is the follow-up from his 30, 60, 90 days, from prospecting. Making sure he's constantly following up on all those past proposals and making sure that that they're putting that urgency on to get the pest control taken care of. And also making sure that all the current customers he's reaching out to, that he's built relationships with, about the VitalClean, about a new product. We're going to dig into the VitalClean in a little bit. But he's out there talking to all the current customers. And what I love that he said was, he's calling and emailing his customers about the VitalClean, but he's setting up appointments to go out there and meet with them so he can see the facility and discuss it with them. Like I said, we're going to get into the VitalClean a little bit more. But next, of course, the guy sold $92,000 last month, so we got to hear from him. Jordan Bosney, let's hear what he's been doing through these times.
It's really all about kind of how you react and just kind of keep your head, stay positive. I'm still hitting the phones on a daily basis. I'm still networking with clients. Again, the slight change that I've made is focusing on different verticals. A lot of the restaurants don't want to talk to you right now just because they're not open for business. They're losing money. They're trying to stop the bleeding itself. So what I'm doing for those, my current clients and also prospects, is just reach out to them, let them know that, we're here. I do talk to them about some of the new programs that we have, which I'll kind of talk base in just a few seconds on. But I've kind of shifted verticals and focused on office spaces, property management companies. They're still buying pest control. They still have residents moving in and out. They still have tenants moving in and out. They still have tenants that still need pest control. So kind of shifting that focus and really kind of pushing down on them to say, hey, listen, we're still here doing pest control, and we're here to help you. One of the things that I've really seen that's been helpful is there's a lot of, we all need to know kind of who our competitors are at which buildings and which properties. I've seen a lot of smaller mom and pop companies fold under this whole pandemic we're going through, A, because they're losing money, so they have to shut down, or B, if one of their employees gets sick, they don't have the manpower to help kind of fulfill that spot in place of that technician. So I'm seeing a lot of these pest control companies fold, and that's where we can kind of come in and present to them a solution, let them know kind of our tech to supervisor ratio, and that we're here to help, and kind of our response on that aspect. So those are a couple things to think about, but just don't lose focus on here. Again, we're all going to get through this. But another great thing is now with this whole VitalClean solution, it's not a new product. We've been using this product for a long time, but now we found a different use for this product. And the great thing about it is there's different verticals that you can talk to about it now, stuff that is going to immediately pay off, stuff that's going to pay off in the future. So restaurants, I'm still talking to them about our VitalClean service, because when they do open their doors, a lot of these restaurants are going to want to have kind of a fresh slate saying that we've done a full disinfectant of this. Same thing with office buildings now. A lot of times that they'll have a possible employee that may have symptoms, and they're going to want to move forward on this, or just as a precautionary measure. There's so many different verticals, literally every vertical that can use this, movie theater. So it's not their fault that we're in this situation. It's our fault that we're not talking to them about this disinfectant program that we have that's really great and beneficial to them.
Thanks, Jordan. I mean, that was some really good stuff from Jordan. And of course, what he's talking about is kind of changing his game, the way he does business. We're focusing on the different verticals, trying to focus on like the property managers, the offices, things like that, things that are still open and still running, to make sure that you're out there calling on them. But also, if you notice, he talked about staying in touch with restaurants, because there's going to become a time, and hopefully sooner than later, I personally think it's going to be sooner than later, but the restaurants are going to open up again. So when he's talking about the VitalClean and making sure you're staying in contact with all these restaurants, because they might not want it now, but once they get the word that they're going to be opening, who's not going to want that service? So that's what Jordan was talking about, as far as the different verticals, and make sure that you're constantly going after the ones that are open. So those are kind of what the folks out there that were in our top 5 last month, what they're doing, and hopefully you wrote some things down, got some tips out of it. But I really kind of want to switch it up and talk about this VitalClean, this new service offering that we have out there. Jordan talked about the product that we actually use. We've used it for a while for different things, but now we're just using it for this service. And it's something that when you're looking out there, there's tons of companies trying to dive into this space to take advantage of it right now with sanitizing, disinfecting businesses. So when we're out there and we are talking to our folks, it is vital that see how that did there, VitalClean, vital. But it's vital that we get in front of our customers. We can't lose sight that our commercial sale, it's a face-to-face relationship building process. I know when we got this new service a couple weeks ago, it was kind of like that shiny new toy you got. Everybody just started emailing their customers. Bam, 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 bam. 65 cents a square foot. Here's what we can do. Blah, 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 blah. And we were putting tons of quote-unquote proposals out there, but we weren't really getting any return on it. Reason being is pest control. We don't propose pest control through email, over the phone, just giving a price. We sit down, go through pictures, go through the presentation, and actually make sure that we are face-to-face building that relationship and being professional about our proposals. So when we're doing these VitalClean proposals, you have to make sure that you're getting out there. A few reasons why you want to get out there. One, you got to see the facility. I know we're pricing it, square foot, but we're kind of looking at different ways as far as for like time of service. We're trying to get a gauge on what the time of service would be. So what I encourage you to do is walk the facility, to find all the touch points, see how long it's going to take your route manager to do the service. So, and also you'll be taking pictures so you can show the route manager, here's the places, here's the touch points, and also making it part of your proposal. The other thing about going out there, like I said, it's a relationship business. We got to be face to face and talk to our prospects about this service, and actually show them how we're going to be able to do this for them and answer any questions. When you send an email or just by phone, it's too easy to say no or delete a voicemail. or hang up. It's just too simple. So you got to be out there in front of the people. There's a ton of tools out there for you on Scout as far as like all the selling tools, the talking points, email templates, and all that kind of stuff. We have that. If you don't have any of this stuff, talk to your branch manager or region sales manager. We also have a Vital Clean proposal that you can just plug in who your customer is, a couple pictures, and then the pricing on there that kind of has the scopes and stuff in there that you can already put in there. And I got to give thanks to Mike Finkel in Beltway. He's the one who really kind of put this together into a Word doc for us. If you do not have that, reach out to your region sales manager and get that. If for some reason you're not getting it, let me know, because it's very important that you have the right tools to be able to do this. So here's what I want to say. I'm going to kind of end this, but please make sure that you're being safe out there. Please make sure that you're wearing the booties, you're wearing the gloves, you're wearing the mask, you're wearing a respirator when it calls for it. You're sanitizing or washing your hands frequently after every appointment, after every call, every time, no matter what you're doing. Always be washing your hands. Be safe out there. That is the number one priority. The other thing is really kind of take a look at what you're doing as far as your day, and are you taking advantage of the fact that a lot of your competition's sitting at home. Jordan, if you picked up on it, he said in the when he was talking about these smaller companies that are really struggling right now, the smaller pest control companies. Fortunately, you work for a large organization at Orkin that we have the coverage. If we have somebody that has to go out for exposure, or someone that they know, or they got to take time off, these small mom and pop pest control companies, that if they lose a couple people that have to be out, they don't have the coverage to be calling on these businesses. So make sure that you're cold calling, you're telemarketing, you're reaching out to all these different businesses, that we are open for business and we're there to serve you. The other thing is that with the different tips that you heard about working with your route manager, find out what businesses that are open, making sure that you're doing a lot of follow-up, creating that urgency about getting the pest control taken care of, and with this Vital Clean, doing it the right way. And if there's any help that you need on any of this stuff, just reach out, throw it out on a group me. You can contact me, you can call me, email me, whatever. Same thing with your region sales managers. We're all in this together. So make sure that you're being safe. Make sure that you're kind of reinventing how you do your business, your approach to it. Trusting the system, following the system, and just making it happen, because like Tom said, we all have bills to pay and we got to make that happen. So with that being said, thank you for all you do. Be safe out there.